everybody, and welcome to episode 38 of the British Bake Off. Wait, no, that's not it. The Great Pottery Throwdown. Nope, that's not it either, even though we've been watching both.
Yeah.
It's the worst talk show.
The worst.
Absolutely the worst. I'm DJ Angie C, that's handsome boyfriend Dave. He's getting his iPad ready. He's the technical producer on the show. No, it's not. Dave, Dave could build you a house out of some toothpicks and some duct tape, but trying to log on to Facebook and make sure his volume's down so that we can see your comments in real time, since we use Zoom as the platform now. I know I'm boring you, your eyes are glazed over, but Dave just, the only way to strike him down is put some sort of electronic device in front of him, and he's like, Hulk smash. And also witnessing you using voice to text, like, I should really secretly record you sometime while you're doing it. First of all, like, pretend this is my phone. He holds it right up here. It's so funny.
It's my time.
Me and the kids
from my
just
time
die.
It's from my time at ground transportation at Massport.
It's so silly. You're so old man.
Taxi pool, send 3 to Baker 2.
And then he'll get angry and he'll stress certain words, but the AI doesn't care that you've stressed a word. It just doesn't care. You have to speak like
Why is that
AI.
not in italics?
I don't know. But
Bob Tarossi.
I don't know how you did this, but you actually turned the subtitles on for us as well. So that's hilarious. Bob Tarossi, Jim Pericotti, Sean O'Brien.
Thank God, the Irish representative, Sean O'Brien.
Sam Avola.
Another Italian. We're crying out loud.
Yeah, we got it. Everybody's coming in now.
We're lousy with the Italians.
I love to be lousy with Italians. Thank you very much. And Italian and Irish is the majority of my DNA, so I'm quite comfortable. I'm quite at home with our audience this evening. What do you think? We got a great show for you tonight. Kevin Patey's going to be on. Woo! So you may know him from years ago, the Raging Teens.
Raging Teens.
Of course, Jittery Jack and Miss Amy.
Yep.
And he's been doing some really interesting things during the pandemic. So I can't wait to talk to him. He's opening a real, like, genuine article barbershop in Manchester by the Sea.
I thought of an idea for him already.
Yeah, we'll save it.
Yes.
And we'll talk to him coming up at 8 o'clock. Nikki T, I just hit the pause button on documentary Danny Says, bio about Danny Fields. Let's get this show on the road. Oh, let me know how that is. I want to watch that. Danny Fields was not, I think he's still alive, isn't he? Not somebody to F around with at all. So we have things to watch and things to listen to that we should get to before we talk to Kevin Patey. Again, he'll be joining us around 8 o'clock. The first thing did you bring your item for show and tell?
No, I didn't.
Today's been a bit of a mixed
bag.
It's been a hodgepodge.
I'm a
day for David.
Yeah, I was out there doing some work, and then the rain clouds moved in.
And then he comes in and he's so excited. He's like, "You're not gonna believe what I just did."
Come on now, that's a little bit over the top, don't you think?
No, usually
you're embellishing, maybe.
You crap something out in the driveway.
Okay, so look, guys. You guys familiar with paracord bracelets?
Yeah, we were like 5 years ago,
and you're like,
they were popular.
And you're like, what is that? Why is that even a thing? But amongst preppers and amongst, survival nuts, which
Dave is slowly becoming, by the way. Thanks, pandemic. How many guns, ammo, and build your own habitat magazines do we currently have in the bathroom?
There's quite a few.
Yeah. Well, at least you'll know where to come.
So anyway, I made a paracord bracelet. I made it. I wove it, and I kneaded it, and I marked it with a B, and put it in the oven for baby and me.
Linda Bean is here. So where is it, Dave? Because you were going to show it off for show and tell.
It's upstairs. I took it off and
Unraveled it.
I started taking it apart because
Uh-huh.
I might not have finished strong. I mean, it started out well enough.
The self-sabotage force in you is strong. It's not good
it's
enough.
My first time.
So I will
it.
have to immediately destroy it and start over.
It's my first time making one, guys. You know, guys, send me your request and I'll make one for you, like a friendship bracelet. It'll be great.
No, I'm going to put the kibosh on that right now. Not happening. You will not be making bracelets or trinkets. We're not opening up an Etsy.
What's that stuff with the
store.
vinyl? Like you used to like weave it and it would like be like squares.
GIMP. You're not doing that.
I want to make GIMP things like from the girl on Napoleon Dynamite.
Self-sabotage Dave. Tachi just gave you a new nickname.
Yeah, I'll give Tachi a nickname.
All right, so something that really was ingenious and a big deal that happened this week.
Wait a minute, Frontier, we could say?
Yeah.
The new Frontier?
Let's put it this way.
Frontier?
Dave was like, it's not going to fly. The atmosphere on Mars.
Look at.
We're talking about NASA's Ingenuity helicopter.
Yes. Okay, so guys, this is the first time that humans have ever powered something remotely on a different planet and flown it.
Right.
Okay.
And to that end, they actually put a piece of the first thing we powered.
This is what I told you. They actually had a piece. I don't know how big it was. It was pretty small. It was a piece of Orville and Wilbur Wright's flyer from Kitty Hawk. The first flight. They have a piece of it and it's attached to the helicopter.
Which is great. Awesome.
They said they taped it onto it, but like, you know, you go how many hundreds of thousands of miles, millions of miles? I don't know. You go in a few miles, okay? It's not from here to like Worcester. So anyway, you're going to just tape it on there?
Well, I mean,
that's not NASA's way.
Did NASA specifically tell you they did this, or did you
They
read
were like,
it
hey, Dave,
on the interwebs?
You're going to want to tell everyone this, Dave.
Okay. It wasn't a Facebook story though, right?
And they were like, hey. No, it was on NPR, so you know it's true.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So the biggest thing is that Dave was like, it's not going to work.
Well, here's the thing. The way that, you know, helicopters create lift is by pushing the atmosphere, and the atmosphere on Mars is super duper duper thin, like barely there. So how do they get lift? Come to find out, they had to make really big, wide blades. So the bigger the area of the blade, the surface area,
the more it would actually
the more that they would be able to like get lift out of it.
Okay, fair enough.
Now so they flew for what? 39 minutes, I think. Oh, no, 39 seconds.
It was 39 seconds.
39
and it was
seconds.
Directly
straight up,
hovered,
and then back down.
There was no like cruising
around
Mars.
They're gonna try that.
Yeah.
It's baby steps with those guys. They don't mess around.
I know. So that was very exciting. Mike Josh is here. Nikki T, helicopter schmelicopter. Let's talk about Angie's skinny face. I lost a chin somewhere within the last couple of shows. So that's very exciting. Thank you, Nikki T. Mike Joshua says, hello, people of Earth. Yes. We did some good 80s dancing this past weekend. Yeah. And then somehow Dave and I kind of lost our oomph halfway through.
Oh, somehow?
I'm not at full energy capacity yet, so I couldn't go as crazy dancing as I wanted to, but I stayed up for 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do it because I was busy designing, paracord bracelets, but I'm just kidding. I was looking at knives.
So more importantly, let's get to things that we watched. I'm very embarrassed about this one, so I'm going to go first. To the point where Dave walked into the living room. He was out doing a project while I was watching this, and I was like, I almost went and shut it off, so he didn't know that I was watching
Wall Street,
as in WAHL, as in Wahlberg, as in Mark Wahlberg's bio docu-series that's on HBO Max right now. And it was like, what is this? Why would I? And then I was completely hooked. It's only 6 episodes long.
See, but the thing is she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so ashamed. And I'm like, I'd watch this. You know?
I really don't care for him. I certainly don't care for his personal antics.
Listen,
and,
his mother passed away this week.
I am very sorry about that.
So,
and
you know what? Sorry for your loss there, Mark, and the rest of you guys.
But I think this docuseries had more to do with, well, I mean, he was the producer on the
Entourage.
I mean, he's been in the business doing other things for a long time. I get that. That's fine. But the whole docuseries was really like, you've got to take Mark Wahlberg seriously now. He's no longer the underwear model, I have more than 2 nipples hip hop star. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, didn't we kind of already know all that? So I'm not really sure. It's very, I mean, it was nice to see that he and his family went through the pandemic like we did, and things got shut down and people got frustrated and that sort of thing. But I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you thought about it. And I know at least some of you are going to watch it. So it was also interesting that he actually has kept a few of his childhood friends from the neighborhood.
Listen, what do you think Entourage was about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it was about the members of the Funky Bunch.
Well, no, but it was kind of like a little take on, you know, bringing out the friends from home when you make it big in Hollywood.
Yeah, that is true.
That's pretty much what it was.
I think it had a little more to do with Leo DiCaprio's
There's
crew
a real Johnny
than
drama.
Mark Wahlberg's crew, although technically they were in Basketball Diaries together. Perhaps they're BFFs. I don't know. 6 episodes. Hate to break it to you, but you're not getting that time back. I know, Sam. I know.
Sammy, she could be making meatballs, right? Am I right?
So here's another little sidebar we'll talk about later. I have not cooked
at all.
And it's bringing the house down and the vibe of the house down, but we'll talk about during the food. So,
okay, before I forget.
Yes.
On, I believe it's Amazon. Is it Amazon Prime? Them? Or is it on Netflix?
No, I think it's Amazon Prime.
Okay, guys, Them.
It's been on
I'm watching it.
Bit.
I'm liking it.
Is it Lena Waithe? Did she
Lena
write that
Waithe?
or produce it? Yeah. Is it Lena or Lena?
I thought it was Lena.
Lena.
Like Lena Horne.
It just looks like the other 2 predominantly African-American cast horror movies that came out.
Well, wait a minute now. You liked Lovecraft Country.
I'm on the fence with Lovecraft Country. It's okay.
Okay.
It's not brilliant.
This is more interesting in a way. It's more intense.
Okay.
I believe it's darker. It's there's some weird stuff going on, and there are different points of view that you're picking up as you watch this, you know. And it's guys, the lone black family moves into mid 1950s Compton, California.
Okay.
And
I like that premise.
And it's all white.
Right.
You know, it's like a bunch of cookie cutter perfect houses with little lawns. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Everything's nice. And this black family shows up. Now, meanwhile, the mother's a teacher. The husband is he's an engineer.
Paint with broader strokes, honey.
And you know what? There's.
So it's scary. How is it not like the other movies that?
There's the race stuff.
Well,
which is scary on its own.
I Got 5 on it song was in it, and they had like the alter egos of them.
Us. This is them.
Okay.
I know they're using pronouns.
Which is fine. I just I don't like horror movies.
The next one is Who.
But Dave seems to really enjoy it.
Be one.
So if you like that sort of
guys. It's interesting. There's some supernatural stuff. It's pretty intense. There's some
supernatural. I'm perfectly comfortable with, obviously, but
there's the question.
Don't want to really be scared right now. And
I'll tell you, there were a couple of times in the first couple episodes I had goosebumps all over my body.
Okay.
Yeah, it got me a couple times.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, yeah.
This just in, breaking news. Mark Finney is putting off the Criterion Collection for his new favorite show and is joining us in the live virtual studio audience.
Mr. Finney, I like your style.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Yes.
It's only because he's seen them all already.
I made Dave watch an episode of The Nevers, which
I was surprised by. I enjoyed.
Yeah, it's getting better. I like it. I don't know what's going to happen with the show since it's created by Joss Whedon, and I think he wrote and directed it. A lot of his normal producers that he tends to work with and writers are also on the show, but Joss is in the middle of getting canceled, so I'm not sure what's going to happen long term with this show. But the cast is amazing. Actors
it's really
are brilliant.
good. Yeah.
So far, I'm definitely digging it. Mayor of Easttown. It's a new Kate Winslet show
M-A-R-E.
on HBO Max. So it's called Mayor of Easttown, like Mayor Winningham, but she's of Easttown. And I can't stop thinking about Mayor Winningham the entire show because they're like Mayor, and of course
Really?
it also hit me because that was my mom's nickname. That my dad called her Mayor like all the time. So I was like, but it was all right. We moved on. It was good. Kate Winslet has never looked uglier on film. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman, but man, did they make her look not attractive on the show, at least in the first episode. But very interesting. There's a whole lot of mystery. She plays a local hometown sports hero that ends up becoming the lead detective on the police force, and it's a very sleepy little town. I think it's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. I'd be curious if anybody else has given it any time yet, but it's called Mayor of Easttown and it's new on HBO Max. So we were looking for other things to watch, and I mistakenly came across something that I thought was the new movie about the Smiths that we've talked about on this very show. There's a movie where it's sort of like Airheads, where they take over the radio station and decide that, make the DJ play nothing but Smiths music.
This is a thing?
Yeah, it's an actual movie that's coming out. And we've all talked about this collectively before. So I thought that's what we landed on, where you're like, bloop, 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 trying to find something to watch. It was called The More You Ignore Me.
Right.
And there was like a
From
cute
the song,
girl on it.
right? You're
so
like,
I'm like, oh, this is the new Smiths movie. I didn't realize it was a direct to, platform thing and wasn't going to be released in the theaters. Where I was like, wow. And we start watching it. This is not the movie I
doesn't seem like it's that kind of movie.
Oh my God.
The mother is having
that kind of
like a psychotic conniption. And, and then coming to later on.
Was Nick Frost in it too? Who was
No. It's the guy who played Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones.
Oh, right.
He was one of the sidekicks on Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
But he's a great actor. So, and then we're like, maybe this is it. No, definitely not. Definitely. It's a teenage girl who has a mom who seems very mentally ill.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? To the point where we actually went back and watched the trailer, and the trailer makes it look like it's a quirky, happy-go-lucky movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like it was trigger. We were like,
the mother,
stop.
The mother is watching TV. It's in the 80s, right? It's the mid 80s.
Yeah.
And the mother's watching TV, and the weatherman says something about it's going to be nice weather, and just this really low production value.
Okay, so wait, Mark Finney, you saw this movie, you like this movie, and your friend Steven made this movie, or are we smashing up the Shoplifters of the World Unite and Take Over movie that's actually on demand, which I didn't realize.
Yeah, maybe
thank you for that.
What do you call that?
I think The More You Ignore Me might be a great movie, but man, we were nowhere near that level of indie depression in that moment. We just wanted something that was
a little deeper than I felt like sounding.
Yeah. I do want to see the Smiths movie, the Shoplifters movie, even though it really just looks like Airheads with the Smiths. I mean, let's be honest. But I am curious, Mark, if your friend did make that on another time, at another occasion, when I can mentally process, I will watch that. But man, I just wanted to warn people, if you think you're clicking on the cool, fun Smiths music movie, that's not the one. Somebody's talking about Dana Hersey. 38. Can we get a cameo from Dana Hersey? What? Oh, for the 38th show? Absolutely not.
Yeah, 38.
Oh, Shoplifters, great. All right, I will definitely watch that. And because we saw the previews and we all went, nope. It just looked, I don't know, but I will give it a shot. And I can't wait to talk about it. So maybe we can even rent that this weekend. Who knows?
I'm excited about something.
What are you excited about?
Ted Lasso season 2.
Oh my God, you guys. Ted Lasso season 2 teaser trailer dropped today or yesterday. It's awesome. And it makes you so, it's like getting in touch with old friends that you're missing.
I can't wait to see.
It's not coming out till July though, you guys.
So nice.
July. But it's just, I'm please, if you have not watched Ted Lasso yet, it is worth getting Apple TV Plus for a month for, honestly. It's so good. Mark Finney says it's so. We'll discuss off the air. All right, Finn. Sounds good. I think I have a pretty good nose. There aren't many movies that I look at the trailer and go, nope. And then I watch it someday and go, well, that was fantastic. It's just not, I don't know. I worked in a video store. I minored in film.
I think it's called self-fulfilling prophecy.
No.
Like you say it sucks and then you can't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can't say enough good things about Ted Lasso. Also, I found something to watch on my own that ended up being way more good. Way more good is not good English.
Way more better.
But it's in French, oui, and it's called The Returned. It's from 2012, I believe. So I'm watching it with subtitles, which is fine, except, you really have to actively watch. Can't do two things at once when that happens. But there've been a few series and movies with this premise where people come back from the dead and nobody knows why and nobody knows what's going on.
So it's a zombie show.
So this is like that. They're not zombies. But there's a lot of intricate stuff going on and people seem to be connected and you're not really sure what's happening. I'm only on like episode 6, but I'm really digging it if you're looking for something just to kind of pass the time and binge. It's called The Returned and it's through AMC Plus because it's on Sundance.
Also scientific-y.
City on a Hill is back with a new series, new season. Sorry.
Debris.
Yeah, we've been watching Debris. It's getting better.
Scientific-y, guys.
Getting better.
It's like the X-Files meets what?
It's kind of like the X-Files meets the one with all the bald guys that I loved with the hot redheaded chick, long blonde redhead. Why can't I think of
sounds like. What is the premise of that show?
David from 90210 is in it too. Help me.
What
was married to the hot chick? Why can't I?
What's the premise of the show?
It was like an X-Files.
Not Fringe.
Yes, Fringe. It's a little fringe-y.
Well, that's a fringe benefit.
Anyway, City on a Hill, the first season was very uneven, but compelling nonetheless. There's a new season out. I watched the first episode for free because we don't have Showtime right now, but I'm thinking I would like to watch the whole thing and hope it gets better. Jackie, what's his face? Kevin Bacon just plays the biggest, most awesome sleazeball.
Oh, what a
no matter how scuzzy and terrible he is, Bacon does make it so you still kind of like him. It really, I mean, kudos to his acting there. You do. You still kind of root for the guy. You don't want him dead yet, I don't think. So I also feel like there's a lot of inside baseball with Boston politics in there. And it's at a time where most of us were growing up and reading about stuff in the paper and listening. So I think we should give it another shot. I think the acting is very well done. It was just very uneven with the Boston thing, the writing and the Boston thing. I mean, it's obviously we're going to be the worst critics when it's anything about Boston, but we're still watching the British Baking Show, and we've decided that we really only want to get to know people that have been on this show from now on forever. Amen. Because they're lovely. Every season, the contestants are lovely, and you get upset when they get, voted off voted out of the tent, if you will. And
Well,
have to go
sometimes there's
home.
just that person, like, this person gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the weakest link. You gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely people that cannot bake on that level. And they just by the skin of their teeth, they keep hanging on. And it's like, nope, you gotta go. Jen Rada is here. I miss
No way.
you.
Speaking of bacon, it was 420 yesterday.
Oh, yes, it was. And that's all we're going to say about that.
Speaking of uneven shows, Dark on Netflix.
And we've talked about this a lot.
German.
We've talked about Dark a lot.
The freaky thing about it is that it is overdubbed. And we watch everything with the subtitles on now.
I can't watch overdubbing.
So you're watching
Awful.
It's a German show that's overdubbed in English, and they put the closed captioning down the bottom, and it doesn't match what the characters are saying.
I think
it's the same idea, but it's like they took it and they did like actual German.
Honestly,
dubbing
should be illegal. Its time has come and gone. If you want to watch a foreign film, you're going to have to do some reading. I'm sorry. But I don't know that you're really getting the same experience out of the show that you would if you actually spoke fluent German, or at least was able to hear it and translate it in your brain.
We know, like, I don't want to show off in front of, Mark Finney or anything, but, I did get on a little tear where I was watching, the foreign films, a la, the Battle of Algiers.
Yeah, you were very into lots of battles.
Yes, and then there were some Japanese, like Rashomon and. Now,
Patey is in the green room waiting patiently, so I wanted to get through a couple more things before we introduce Kevin. The new Boss Tones video, have you guys seen it? Now, first of all, you guys know that it's a personal thing for me. They're like family, and I always try to promote whenever a new record comes out. That being said, they haven't all been awesome. This record is great, and it's one of the best records they've put out in the last 10 years, if not the last 15. Yeah, I'm going there. So they finally gave us the video we've been waiting for, that we've been working for our whole lives. It's an entire video shot in Boston of Ben Carr dancing.
That's it.
Ben
Carr,
that's the video.
Dancing.
The whole time.
The whole thing.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's
pretty cool.
Chef's kiss. So,
man.
And speaking of videos, we saw a new video from Andrea Gillis that happened at the Red on Red Records, and New Chelsea Curve as well.
I love the New Chelsea Curve song.
Very good. There's also a new Shanghai Lows tune, which I shared already, and there's a video. So I just wanted to sort of get to all of that, local music promoting, as well as Will Daly, #TigerBeat. We love you, but you decided to stage your last stream of the year, or at least pandemic wise, right in the middle of this show. So we're on till 8:30, and then we'll pop over and watch you. But really, we need to work out our schedules there, TigerBeat. Yeah.
Are we gonna,
just,
no?
He's cutting right into our audience, but we'll go there right at 8:30, I promise.
Well, we do have Patey, so.
Listen, he doesn't have Kevin Patey, but
no,
we do. It's 2 minutes early, 2 minutes before 8, but I think we can bring Kevin on now.
He looks ready.
He does look ready. If you can get him on screen and then he can unmute himself, that would be fantastic.
Are we doing split screen?
Kevin, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And we have ignition.
That's it.
All right. Woo.
I know it was a kind of a last minute ask, so thank you very much.
Thanks
for indulging us. One of the things, before we get into, like, for those that don't know who you are, we'll do a little bio and all that stuff, but I really wanted to start off with the fact that I've been admiring and following your journey during the pandemic.
The pandemic journey,
because for many of us, I'm not a musician, but I did use my voice in a creative way. And, you know, in a creative business like radio isn't exactly the same as musicians, but we're all gig workers. We all have a day job, but that doesn't really pay I mean, it kind of pays the bills, but we all lost a lot of extra employment. And what was interesting is that some of us have really found that we could parlay our superpower in the creative world into, you know, the more normal stuff.
Square, you know.
Well, you know, so you've had quite a journey the last like 12, 18 months, haven't you?
You make it sound like I'm coming out in a drastic change, but yeah, no, I've become a barber.
Yeah, and when did you start the barber school or whatever it was called?
Well,
Hairdresser school?
I started my barber career about, over 6 years ago now, when TT's closed. That was my plan. I was going to get my barber license when the club closed, and I was going to cut hair and play music. But strangely, we got really busy playing music, and I could never commit the time to do it and finish the hours and do all that stuff. So when COVID hit and basically everything stopped, I was like, you know what, I have time now. I can do this. And at first it was Zoom barber school, which seems pretty ridiculous because, you know, you have to learn how to cut hair, right? But I had been cutting hair for some time. It's just a formality. You have to get 1,000 hours in Massachusetts. So,
right.
Yeah, we were doing Zoom, which was pretty funny. And then only for about 30 days. And then we switched to the classroom, but it was work stuff at home. So, you know, I was only going 4 hours a day, which was great. I'm part of my, my computer is telling me my internet is unstable. Am I still with you?
Yeah, you
Yep,
are.
we got you.
You've been a little glitchy, but not much at all. So.
Well, I keep telling my neighbor if he doesn't improve the Wi-Fi, I'm going to stop stealing it. So, you know, I'll have a word about that.
Yeah, we ended up having to buy an Ethernet cable and jack right in because it's just too difficult to do a live stream without it.
Too many people on the Wi-Fi, you know.
So
teenagers.
I didn't want to jump too far ahead, but I just wanted to make sure that I said, I'm just, first of all, I'm proud of you. Is that
congratulations?
Am I allowed to be proud of you? I don't know. But
yeah,
Kevin,
thank you. I'll take it.
Lean back a little bit so we can see the T-shirt on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about Jack's Barber Shack.
Wait.
So I live in a small town. What's that?
Before we get there, I wanted to give everybody a teeny bit of background about you.
Yeah.
I jumped the gun.
You jumped the gun.
I'm sorry.
We had premature barber talk. Premature barber talk. Apologies. But for those that don't know, Kevin, I've known you for a long time. TT's was probably when we got to know each other a bit better, for sure, when I moved back. But you've been in the music business forever. You did not start out in this country, though. Is that correct?
No, I was born in England. I moved here when I was a kid. So I still have a green card. I've never even gotten around to becoming a citizen, believe it or not. So
really,
yeah,
people like you that ruin this country.
That's right.
Sorry.
Someone's going to build a wall or something.
We have a different president now, right? All right.
Well, I'm working on it. So I've had the paperwork now. So
whereabouts in the UK are you from?
A place called Swindon, which usually when
Wait, you're from the same place that David Rose is.
Do you know David Rose?
No, but I'll tell you a great story about Andy Partridge.
Oh, all right.
So when I was a kid, my dad was a musician when he was younger, and he wasn't great, and he got relegated to being the band manager actually in the band he was in. But he knew a lot of musicians around and stuff, and he had a store in town, and we used to drive by this house, and I see this guy sometimes like cutting the lawn, and my dad's like, you know that guy right there? He's a famous musician. Look at him cutting his lawn. Because they wouldn't tour, you know, XTC wouldn't tour. So
he wanted no part of that.
He's got stage fright really bad, right?
Yeah. So we would see Andy Partridge cutting the grass, you know, and I was like, wow, I guess. And my dad would always try to say to me, like, you know, he loved that I played music, and you know, he's a big fan, but he was always like, find a way to make a living. It's really hard. He's like, or you wind up like that guy. You know what I mean?
And funnily enough, Andy Partridge mowing a lawn sounds like the perfect subject for an XTC song.
Right?
Yeah, so, a video at least, right?
I know. You know, have you seen that XTC documentary? I think it's on Showtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great because in the beginning, he says that the line that I always say is when you tell people that you're from Swindon, they usually laugh. That's the first response because it's kind of a dump, you know. And he said it, and his accent is so West Country, you know. After the war, Swindon had plenty of land, and London was like ruined. So they were like, "We've got land. Come, we'll build houses." So London basically invaded Swindon, which was a farming area, really. And but he's got very much. When I hear Andy Partridge talk, he reminds me of my grandfather because my grandfather had that.
Oh,
We were
wow.
on the farm kind of bit, you know, talks like that.
Oh yeah.
So the funny thing about our pal David Rose is like an uber Boston music fan, but he lives in Swindon and he's from Swindon.
Wow.
And he flies over here all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like he has a gravel pit tattoo.
A tattoo.
You know, this name is ringing a bell, but our paths must have crossed, I'm sure. But
He's a sweetheart of a guy too.
He's one of our favorite people. And so anytime anybody mentions Swindon, which is a lot, it's really weird. Like
famous
our chimney sweep guy is from Swindon.
No,
like,
really?
It's just odd. Like it just keeps popping up. So that's why we laughed. We don't laugh because you know you're from Swindon.
Oh, well, my dad says it's where elephants go to die. They leave the herd and go to Swindon. So you know that kind of place. You know.
So you still have a teeny bit of the accent. When did you actually move over here?
When I was 12.
Okay,
and I'm always like I pick up accents. You know, I mean, I moved to Boston at 17. I grew up here on the North Shore, Manchester by the Sea, home of my barbershop. And but I graduated high school a year early, not because I was smart, but because something happened with me coming from England. I was like a year ahead or something. I don't know. But so I went to college in Northeast.
It makes sense.
I don't know why, but we were, and I never left the city. I lived in the city for years. So I kind of have a weird hybrid accent, but if I have a few pints or if I'm talking to my mom, it slips out. Although my mom, I'm going to say this because she's probably watching right now. My mom reinvented herself in America as a member of the royal family. And so she's
our condolences, by the way. Tell your mom we're sorry.
She's quite proper. And her nickname back in Swindon with the rest of the family is Queen Muck because her don't stink, if you catch my drift. So sorry, Mom.
Wow.
So she must be pretty broken up about Prince Philip.
They're big royal watchers. They like, I remember one time I was at TT's and as you know, sometimes the club would close and things would run a little later than they should, after hours, if you will. And I remember getting home and it was like morning and my mom and my Aunt Carol were watching the royal wedding. And I just come in and I haven't even slept yet. And they were like, "Do you want some tea?" I was like, "Sure." And I sat, sat and watched the royal wedding. So they're really into all that stuff. She's a big royal. So yeah, she was sad about Prince Philip. I just kept thinking about the song by the Jam, that they Just Who Is the 5 O'Clock Hero, where Weller says, it was back in the 70s, Prince Philip got in a lot of heat because they were doing a lot of austerity measures and they were gonna basically cut down the royal budget. And he said, his response was, well, everyone's just gonna have to work a little harder. So in the Jam song, Weller says, my hard-earned dough goes into bills and malauder, and that bleeding Prince Philip tells us we have to work harder. So
nice. So it was sort of his let them eat cake moment.
He was kind of known for being, he was, yeah.
There was also that whole, wasn't there a little weird Nazi sympathizer thing for a while?
Well, family of German,
that wasn't Philip though. That was
that was Edward who was king,
who abdicated, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, the family are German. They changed their name at the beginning of World War II because to Windsor because they had the same name as the company that were making all the planes that were bombing England. So they were like, maybe we'll change that. So,
not good for the brand.
True story. Yeah, exactly.
They're not the Messerschmitts that you say.
So you've been all over the world. You've played with these amazing bands, and you play with Miss Amy, and you have such a jet set rock star lifestyle. But then you've also got this other life at home. For when you're not on tour and you still have to pay the bills. And the pandemic comes and suddenly, because you were also, are you still an auto dealer?
Yeah, well, not a dealer. I worked in the car business for many years. And then about 5 years ago, I kind of branched out on my own and I started a company. I'm an auto broker. So what I tell people, I help people buy cars because everyone hates the dealership. It's a horrible experience. So I have relationships. You can call me up. I can arrange for you to go in. You can drive whatever you want, ask questions, and then just leave, and I'll do all the negotiating. So I do that. I also sell cars for clients too, and I can find cars and all that stuff. But when the pandemic hit, everything ended because the auctions were closed, the dealers, nothing was happening. So just everything ground to a halt. I mean, Amy and I had tours. We were supposed to do a tour with Dale Watson. There was talk of Reverend Horton Heat tour. We had,
Oh my God.
we had a European tour booked. I mean, just everything stopped, So I'm not gonna lie to you. For the first month, I was part of the reason I decided to finish the barber thing because I was literally going crazy. Because I live alone. My daughter's grown now. She's graduating college next month, and she's living in upstate New York. Thank you.
And she's already a pretty huge success. You know what I mean? She's doing great.
Yeah, and her boyfriend Shane plays with a band, this gal called Michaela Davis, who's she plays like the harp, like the big gigantic harp thing, and they've toured with like Bob Weir from the Dead and stuff. So
wow,
she's living the dream in upstate New York. But it was just me here alone, and I had this this leopard print onesie thing, like pajama thing that I bought on a goof in England years ago, and I just started wearing it around the house. And for like
a union suit, did it have feet?
Oh yeah, but it has like the hood and everything, like there's like the animal head, It's like I guess it's pajamas, I don't know, but I just started wearing it every day, and then like I'd go out and get the mail, and I'd forget that I was wearing it, and then it'd be nice out, so I would just sit on the front step, and a couple of times people walk by, I was like, good and you? And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm wearing. I was like, I gotta do something. I'm literally losing my mind here with the with this pandemic. So that was part of going back to school, was just to have a thing to do every day. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And then from that comes a barbershop, or was that your intent all along?
Well, I always knew I wanted to do that at some point, but it was not my plan to do it as soon as I did. But what happened was, so I live in a small town, Manchester by the Sea. Perhaps you saw the movie. Talking about fitting.
Uplifting.
Not
yeah,
the
right?
movie I was expecting.
Where did he get booze at 3 a.m? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
Well,
not there.
No, not anywhere in the state. Jeez. But my friend, so I live downtown, and right across the street from me there used to be a dive bar called Al's Cafe. And it's now kind of a nice high-end restaurant. The town got gentrified a bit. But next to it, my good friend owns the building, and next to it there was a store that was a surf shop that they closed, and then it became like a ladies' boutique, because for some reason in Manchester by the Sea, the only thing we're allowed to have is ladies' boutiques. We've got like 10 of them. I don't know, no other.
It's a classy thing.
Marblehead too, guys.
It's how to keep it
right?
classy.
Marblehead's a very similar place, exactly. So I told my friend, I said, hey, if that place ever opens up, I want it, because it'll be a great spot for a barbershop. So my plan was I was going to go cut hair with a good friend of mine in Beverly. Hopefully, I was hoping music would come back again, keep doing my thing. And then I planned this road trip to go down to Kentucky. I have a good friend of mine who he owns a great barbershop in Kentucky. He's like, come down for like a week or two and cut hair and hang out and blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
So I did. And I'm on my way, and I get the call from my friend who owns the building. She goes, you're not going to believe it. She goes, they're moving out. Do you want it? And I was like, well, yeah, of course I want it. I was
wow.
like, I guess I'm opening a barbershop now. So, it's been a crazy month, because I've been, everything costs more than you think it's going to. I thought it was going to be like, I had to put a sink in, and I already had the sink, and I thought, what's it going to cost? $500? Fast forward to like, you can't put the sink there. You got to do this, this, this. Now I have 3 sinks, and like thousands of dollars later of plumbing work. And, I'm just like this, just the money, so I got to open soon. I don't want to be broke. So it's May 4th.
Well, I think it's so genius. First of all, it's so part of your world. Rockabilly specific. Let's talk about barbershops. Where
not me lately. Look, I'm a damn mess. My barbers. I've got a great barber, Steve, going to come in and cut with me. And we made a pledge that we were not going to cut our hair or shave until we could do it to each other in the shop. So nice. I've got the inspections actually happening Saturday. So I said, Friday. I said, you know what? Friday afternoon, you've got to shave me and cut my hair. I can't take this anymore. I'm like, I feel like I should be in a alt country band or something. I don't know.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you're doing straight razor shaving? Like
yeah, the problem is
everything?
We will be doing that. You're not allowed to right now because of COVID.
Okay.
But when COVID lifts, absolutely. We're doing hot towel shaves. What makes us a little different than the average barbershop around here, and there's a lot of great barbershops around, great guys that cut hair, but we every haircut is going to get a hot lather shave on the back of your neck. So it just feels awesome, So it's like,
oh yeah.
So every
there's
haircut
nothing like it.
That's the
I
best,
tell,
right?
I tell
So
everyone, like women, women have their stuff that they do, the pedicure, the manicure. Okay.
yeah,
But having your face shaved by like a professional.
that's a good time.
In fact, right around the corner from TT's, I used to go to John's barbershop
Yeah,
right in Central Square there.
Yeah.
And there's an old timer, there were a couple guys, John, and then Peter was the old, I mean, John was old as kind of like dirt, but Peter was like Dirt's uncle. Like he was older than, and the guy was like the shaky old, Greek guy.
yeah.
But when he got the straight razor in his hand, it was like unbelievable.
Magic.
And you would walk out of there feeling like $1 million.
Yeah.
Like no doubt.
No, it's a great experience, and it's the whole thing with the hot towels and stuff. It just feels great. You walk out, you're like, this is great, So we'll be definitely doing that, and for all the follically challenged gentlemen out there, we will be offering hot towel lather head shaves. So
nice.
don't feel like you can't come in. If you are a bald, you can still be in the gang. It's all right.
Sam,
Wow. I
Sam,
love that. I think that's
I
great.
recommend this.
I just love, like, are you gonna have like memorabilia around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
basically,
mean, couldn't
tried to-
imagine anything else. But
real jukebox, right?
I got a
With
jukebox.
actual
I'm
45
actually-
records.
my friend Simon, my Irish friend Simon's coming over tomorrow to help me load it up, and he's printing all the tags out and stuff. So yeah, it holds 145s and it's operating as it should. I got guitars on the wall in the barbershop so people can grab a guitar, play. There's electric guitar with amp or an acoustic. It's a pretty big space. So down the road, eventually I want to have bands play in there because we can't. The guy upstairs is super cool. My friend owns the building and there's a bar next door. So it's like, what better, So yeah, so that's on the road.
It also sounds like because you're a great connector. You're one of those people that knows that I know a guy, I can get you here. I can, which is perfect for everything that you do. But you must be calling in all the favors right now. Like, this is it. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Like, yes, I do need a favor from you,
Yeah, no, the favor I'm asking everyone right now is please come get your haircut because, I got another barber who's,
I'm going to be afraid that I'm going to lose Dave to your barbershop and I may never get him back.
Well, Dave, the coolest thing on top. So I was trying to think of not like a theme, but I was like, like I really like tiki stuff. So I was like, what? And the weird thing was the place used to be a surf shop. So in the spot is actually, it was the dressing room for the surf shop. And it's actually like a bamboo hut with thatch roof on it.
Ah.
So I was like, I got to incorporate that a little bit. So I'm like, we get a tiki thing, some rock and roll. But then I love cars, and so I've been collecting since I was a kid. 132 scale slot cars, scale electrics. Yeah. So I got a 4x8 table built with slot cars on it, so we can race cars. It's like,
oh my God!
All right,
I'm never going to see you again.
There are all kinds of angles here, brother.
Right?
I'm thinking,
so something for everybody.
You can look at a car, you can buy a car, get your hair cut, hot foam. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
then we're gonna start betting on these races. Oh,
that's next.
We do have some comments coming in, so I didn't want to. Nikki T is very excited about possible shows in Manchester by the Sea, obviously. Joe Burke says it's a barbershop, so it needs a Three Stooges poster. I'm on the fence about that.
Know what I do have? So my friend Deb, who I think is watching right now, she's a great barber. She's down in Jersey, and out of the blue, she's like, do you like the Munsters? I was like, who doesn't like the Munsters? Then like a couple days later, I get in the mail an autographed photo of Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster. She used to date She used to date Eddie Munster, and he sent me to Jack's Barber Shack. Best of luck, blah, blah, blah.
Nice. What a perfect thing, right?
Yeah, so I have
Eddie Munster, he's known for his hair.
Yeah.
Mark Finney is on. He says, Patey, I'm watching from my bed. And
of course.
We know somebody else from up in Manchester by the Sea who's a really good musician.
Who?
Riley Somack.
Oh, that's right. Do you know Riley?
Have you heard of the Rupert selection?
Yeah, I certainly know the band, but I didn't know that.
That's
Riley's.
Where they're from,
I think Riley lives up there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's weird. There's a lot of people around. Like we're right next to Gloucester, and there's a ton of musicians that live in Gloucester. So I know people that way. But randomly, geez, I'm going to skip. I'm so bad with names right now. I think it's Amanda. She plays keyboards with Petty Marles.
Okay.
Allison.
That's the one. Thank you. She's from here, and I never do that, you know. And she actually lives here still, so which is crazy because we ran into each other. We're like, wait, how did I not know that? You know. So when I was working at the club, because I didn't live here for a long time, and I moved back to Manchester when I got divorced, and but I was working at the club, so I was like, you know, I missed out on all the social stuff because I was always at the club. You know, I had no life.
Right.
So all these people that are here, I didn't even know, you know, that we're here. So it's kind of random now. I kind of sort of run into people and like, wait a minute, what? You live in town, you know, or I'll see somebody like,
well, now you
here,
can,
you know,
you can bring everybody together and
well, that's
be part of your new world.
the plan is when the problem with right now with the barbershop is because of COVID, it's appointments only. So you're only really allowed to have the person in the shop is getting the haircut. But once this horrible thing is over, I really want it to become I don't care if you get a haircut, just come by, hang out. You know what I mean? I want it to be that kind of place because barbershops used to be that. They used to just be like the community center. And you know, and again, back in the day, of course, it was a thing for guys, but there's a lot of women that have short haircuts or we can do basic ladies cuts. You know, I'm not going to get into dyeing your hair and all that stuff, even though I do know how to do it kind of, but you know, there's a lot of women that want basic cuts and, you know, don't feel like you're excluded because it's a barbershop. We're not, you know, it's not.
Well,
like,
if you can help me with my Betty Page once in a while, bangs.
well, I tell you, my daughter has the same bangs and she's a tough cookie with that because she's very particular.
It is. My hairdresser who I love, Tracy, who I've gone to forever, she'll cut them and then we have to have a talk and then she cuts them more and then it's like, you still got to get the sides. It's just a whole thing.
Oh, it's a thing. And my daughter has really curly hair. So you have to, when I'm cutting her bangs, you kind of wet it to straighten it, but then you have to kind of, I've done it enough now. I know where that curl's coming in. So I got to leave it a little longer, you know, so it will line up right. And we usually have to do it, let it dry and then do it again. So she told me though, she did say, she goes, you've cut my bangs better than anybody else. So I said, all right. Well,
wow, that's an endorsement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's and as far as the rockabilly tie-in, I mean, you know, still a lot of ladies rocking the Betty Page. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd love to come in for a hang. Nikki T and I will come in for a hang and I'll be like,
Yeah.
Dave, you have to come home eventually.
I'll be like, I'm sweeping the floor. This is cool.
Hey, you know, hang out.
And, yeah,
Linda, hang out.
You need an apprentice? Do you need an apprentice, Kevin?
Dave has decided he thinks he would make an excellent
I actually,
barber.
aesthetically, I'm kind of on point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's a fun trade. You know, you get to hang out and you hang out and have conversations all day with people, you know, and it's kind of fun. When I was in barber school, because basically what they do is they give you like a short amount of time to teach you some basics. And I'd already kind of gone through that. So I kind of knew how to do that anyway. So, you know, you're just cutting hair all day long. And I mean, you get some characters. I mean, we're downtown Malden. They should do free. We called it Free Bum Shave Tuesday because they give free shaves. So all the homeless guys would come in and get shaves, and it's just like, you know, we'd end up sometimes just cutting their hair, like washing their hair and cutting their hair, you know, just because it's like, you know what, the guy's here, let's just take care of him. But you know, everyone's got a story, you know, and it's kind of neat. It's a fun thing to do, you know. You're part psychiatrist and. You know, you just listen to what they got going on and it's fun. You know, there's a great DVD called Barberland. It came out in the 90s. And it's all these old timers talking about their lives as being a barber. And this one guy's like 80 something. And he's like, retire? Why would I do that? He goes, I love coming to work every day. I just hang out and have conversations. It's great. You know, so I envision myself being that guy. You know what I mean? Just hanging out.
Now, where can we get some of those T-shirts? Are you selling those already?
They are for sale. Yeah, they've actually. Okay. I've been sending them. They've gone as far away as Australia and Europe, and it's crazy because you know a lot of fans of the band have been supportive. So if you go to the Jack's Barbershop Facebook page, or if you go to jacksbarbershop.com, I haven't set up online purchasing. So right now it's like Venmo and PayPal, but you can just send me a message and we'll work it out. You know, or make a trip up, you know, we're going to have them for sale in the shop. So it's, but they're really,
so when is opening day and how soon can people start making reservations?
Oh, yeah, they can make reservations now. Opening day is May 4th. But they can book online now. I mean, we're already starting to fill up. So, and I'm telling everyone too, I know there's a lot of people that want to come see me, but I've got a fantastic barber called Steve Bucci, who's from Revere, and he's not from here. So I'm trying to get as many people to go to him as I can too, because well, he's a great barber and I want to keep him busy. So, but yeah, you can book your appointments online and May 4th we'll be open and ready to go. And we're staying open late too. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to close Sunday, Monday for now because it's just two of us. and those are kind of barber days to be shut anyway. But
Right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're open till 8 o'clock at night, and which most barbershops aren't open late, which I
Yeah.
never understood. Like, why can't
Good
you
for
get
after
your haircut?
work, right?
Right. So we're gonna stay open till 8, and I live across the street, so it's easy for me. I think then Friday we're staying open till 7, Saturday till 6. So it's and we're doing things a little differently, Dave, from most barbershops because. So I spent a week down in Kentucky at my buddy's place. He's got a really traditional barbershop down there, and they have kind of a neat spin on it. So have you ever had your hair washed at the barbershop? Probably not, right?
No, not at a barbershop.
Yeah. So what we do here, you come in, we sit you down, we have our conversation, we talk about what we're going to do. We're going to cut your hair. Now, when your hair is cut, most guys will dust you off, send you on your way. And if you're like me, when I go to the barber, I usually wear a hat because I'm going to go home and take a shower because I want to get the hair off me. So what we do, once your hair's cut, we're going to spin you around. We just call it, we're going to rinse you off. We're going to rinse you off, get all the hair off your head, sit you back up, then we'll dry you off, and we're going to style your hair. So you can go on a date, you can go back to work, you can do whatever. You don't have to go into the shower.
Well, I mean, that was one of the original things about a barbershop or a beauty salon. It was date prep. It was date night prep.
Yeah,
I mean, the same night, they weren't necessarily, they were going home to throw the dress and the makeup on, and the same with the guys. Like, you got the car wash, got the, went to the barber, got it all set. And I think we are going to see some of those traditional things come back post pandemic because people are so invested in living their best lives now because we wasted a whole effing year. Yeah. And it put everything into perspective. And it's like, it's time to really start enjoying life because you never know when the next thing is coming. So
right.
I
just want to add real quick too. So the one thing that COVID has done for barbers is because everyone has to make an appointment now. The great thing about that is because we're going to continue appointments because one of my biggest things, my barber has been my friend for years, and I go to, he cuts my hair in Beverly, but I'll call him up, be like, "Hi, are you busy? Can you get me in?" He's like, they never did appointments. So I go in there, and sure enough, I would always have the luck with 8 people showed up right before I got there, and I'm sitting there for 2 hours. I'm like, I don't have time for this. If you make an appointment, you are going to get your hair cut at the time that you made your appointment. So, we'll fit walk-ins in down the road. We'll say, hey, best to go online and just book an hour, because if you do that, that's when you get the guy at the post office. I've been sending out t-shirts every day, and he's like, so I can just go online and make that appointment during my lunch break. And I was like, you will be in, get your hair cut, you'll be back at the post office.
It makes sense.
So,
it's smart.
It makes sense, so that's one thing this pandemic has done for guys, I suppose, is has helped us to make appointments.
Well, I'm also very grateful that you haven't shaved, because your porn pencil mustache thing that you like to rock is not my favorite.
Well, it's very, I like to feel it's kind of a swashbuckling look, if you will, like
a little pencil thin mustache, Boston Blackie style.
With just a side of creepy. Just a side.
I'll make it even creepier for you, Angie C. So the problem is, for some reason, like, I know I got like a red thing going on here right now, but my hair is like brown, and gray in spots. But for some reason, the only spot on my head, my mustache comes in almost like ginger. It's weird. So I have to, that creepy mustache, I have to dye it too. That's the secrets of Jittery Jack right now coming out.
Exclusive content.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
He dyes the stash.
Threshold.
That's right. So yeah, it's creepy. Well, so me and Amy will be on tour in Vegas, and my favorite thing to do, because you got to put the stuff on, and it like makes it look like a big caterpillar, and I come out like Burt Reynolds, and she's like, "Oh, it's mustache dye day." I'm like, "Yep."
That is amazing. Almost like the guy from Sparks,
And like,
that one.
Amy is like so nice, and like she's like, I can't imagine her like saying anything like negative. She'd be like, "Oh wow, like,
she's actually she's a fan of the mustache." I think she likes to screw me because she thinks it's probably like the ultimate cock block. You know what I mean? Like, the mustache is great. You should keep that.
Oh,
it's great. Yeah, the mustache plays.
Yeah, the mustache plays.
Right.
So, there you go.
Oh my God, Kevin, you have been a joy. I could talk to you all night, but unfortunately our show's over. So
all right.
I will post all the links to everything and let everybody know that they can go ahead and make an appointment now. We're going to get some t-shirts. We'll get all that information up as well.
Real quick, I just want to say real quick, Jittery Jack and Amy Griffin on guitar will be making a new record this year. It's coming out. So just
all right.
Awesome.
keep it posted on that.
Thank you you so much, Kevin. We love you. And
Thank
we'll
you, guys.
definitely be up at Jack's Barber Shack. Woo!
Congratulations
I can't wait to
on the
see
new
you.
place, buddy.
Come up in the summertime. You take my car to the beach. I got singing beach passes.
Done.
All right.
Don't have to tell me twice. What's
All
the
right,
knocking
guys.
at the door? How did we get up here so fast?
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Make sure you check it out.
Thanks,
and
Kev.
also
Cheers, guys.
make an appointment to go see him because he's going to be busy. And that way you can do it on your time,
I feel
not
like,
on their
I
time.
feel like you told Kevin to say that to me because you're always saying you got to plan things. You got to plan things.
Yeah. Well, that's how
I'm just kinda
adulting
like
works, Sonny.
I'm kind of like the guy who shows up.
Yeah. And
You know?
I'm the one that fixes it. So he'll make an appointment. All right, you guys, we love you. As always, hit up the Venmo for our underwriting. It's at DJ Angie C.
Wow, that show went quick, huh?
Yeah, check out the barbershop page is also on Facebook. I'll have all the links up, I promise. So thank you guys. We love you. Extra special thanks to Kevin Patey, and looking forward to a new Jittery Jack and Miss Amy's guitar record soon. So we love you guys. Good
Bye,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Have a good week.
Time. Oh,